Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of my weekly recap. In the recap, I like to go over any news related to the old school RuneScape community this week, and this morning we have a lot to talk about. So last night I was pondering, should I wake up at 4 a.m. To bring in the new league, be there right as the update drops? And after 10 minutes of thinking, I decided maybe not. I can say for sure that was a top tier decision because this morning there's been a severe bug that affected the main game that is now requiring a rollback. We're going to be talking about that as well as anything else interesting in the old school community this week. I hope you guys enjoy it as always. If you do, appreciate a like in the video. Let's get started. Alright, so Leagues 3 is one of the most anticipated updates of the year. The seasonal game mode has a lot of people hyped for it, and a lot of players come back to play the league. Now that was supposed to be coming out this morning, and it did for a while. So fairly shortly after the League World launched, there was a very large bug discovered that affected actually the main game as well. And there's one image here that I think highlights it perfectly. Here is the image of the seasonal game mode high scores, and you can see that for some reason players are already maxed in the game mode. So there seems to have been a fairly major issue in how the different game states are saved between your seasonal game mode and your regular game mode because they are shared on the same account. You simply have to log into a different world. So on top of there being players in leagues that are already maxed, there's also probably a more severe game-breaking bug in the main game. Some players, after they had logged into the Shattered League's relic, upon logging back into their main account in their main save state, they became an Ironman. So some high-level main accounts were just all of a sudden Ironman, which is game-breaking for so many different reasons. Firstly, some players might not want to be an Ironman to begin with, and obviously that's game-breaking in another way because being an Ironman takes a lot longer. And if max accounts are just flipping over to being Irons, that saves them potentially thousands of hours of actual game time it would normally take to achieve that on an Ironman. So because of that, a rollback was deemed necessary. Now I believe as of the recording of this clip, the servers are online, but the game worlds were down for 4 or 5 hours, so a significant amount of time. So how far did it get rolled back? Well, it looks like at worst it will be an hour if you were playing right before the Shattered Relics release. Mod assumes indicate that you may not lose your progress, but I wouldn't get your hopes up there. Of course, there's that one guy who somehow managed to get a 3rd age pickaxe in that perfect 1 hour time slot. And of course, there are some hardcore Ironmen I'm sure have died. Are they going to get resurrected? Will that person who suffered through an hour of rune crafting get their time reimbursed? Probably not. Now, unlike other leagues, not as much was known about this one as, for example, with Trailblazer, not too much information was released ahead of time, so there's a bunch coming into the game right now. So Leagues 3 Shattered Relics is following a similar structure to previous leagues, although with obviously a completely new twist to it. You're still going to be starting as an Ironman account, there are still going to be some restrictions on content, but this year is going to be different. To start things off, everybody is going to be starting near Catherby as a new Ironman account. You're going to start with the same normal items from Tutorial Island. Now, instead of there being large restrictions on the area you can traverse, this time there's going to be restrictions on the skills you start with. So in this league, every skill is going to start off locked except for defense, fishing, and thieving, plus you do get to pick a combat skill when you start. Now, as you progress through the league, you're going to be able to unlock additional skills, bosses, and quests. They can all be purchased with a new league-specific currency, Sage's Renown. Now, you'll be able to earn this currency by unlocking tasks. Now, the experience rates are going to start off as 5 times the usual rate, although presumably as you unlock higher tier relics, the experience rate can be increased as well. Now, the league task panel is going to be very similar to other leagues, and a lot of the tasks are going to be similar to other years, such as achieving a certain level in a skill, getting a certain total level, killing bosses, or completing skilling challenges. Those will all complete tasks and unlock Sage's Renown. So here we can see an example cost of unlocking some of the content. For example, we can see that Slayer costs 30 Sage's Renown to unlock, where hit points cost 10. Bosses cost quite a bit. For example, the Alchemical Hydra costs 75 to unlock. Barrows cost 25. Briafita costs 10. And you can also see quests here as well. Those will all have different currency costs to them as well, so there is a ton of customization in how you spend your points. And keep in mind, you do not get those back. Once you spend them, they're gone. Now, relics were a very prevalent feature in the other 2 leagues, and they are coming forward in the 3rd league. However, this time they have been fragmented into relic fragments. These are going to be weaker versions of relics, but they're going to allow a lot more customization, and you're able to equip them and unequip them as you want, where in previous leagues they were a permanent selection. So in the very beginning, you're going to start with one major choice. What combat style are you going to want to go with? We have magic, ranged, or warrior. That will unlock the skill to begin with, so everyone will start with 4 skills, but you will also gain a matching fragment. For example, for the melee choice, if you choose Unwavering Warrior, you're going to get a melee accuracy boost whenever you are on 0 prayer. If you pick the range relic, your ammunition and weapon charges will have a chance of being saved, and the mage relic has a very similar option as well. So you can see that these are a bit weaker overall, but you'll be able to collect more of them and eventually combine them into higher tier relics once you completed a set. If you want a full list of all of the fragments and set effects, they are now live on the wiki, and there are a lot of them. Now, because you have access to all of Gielinor, at least the locations, and to speed things up, they have added in waystones to the league. They allow you easy access to a bunch of different locations in the game, as well as you will also have unlimited run energy, so no more walking. To be able to teleport to a new location, you do have to activate the waystone, but once it's activated, you can teleport as many times as you like between the activated waystones. Now, there are going to be some rewards for competing in the league, although all of them are going to be cosmetic, but some of them are transferable to the main game. Beyond, of course, getting a maxed Ironman account. Jokes, that's been fixed, I think. There's also a large swath of new cosmetic items, such as the Shattered Relic Hunter outfit, a new home teleport animation, which if I play, I definitely want to buy that one. Such a fun animation. As well as there are reskins for different weapons, such as the Abyssal Whip, the Rune Crossbow, as well as this very interesting looking cannon reskin based on the Dwarf Multi-Cannon from Classic. Now, of course, there's also going to be a trophy, all the way from bronze up to dragon tier being the top 1% of players, going all the way down to bronze. So anyway, that is pretty much it for the basics of the Shattered League's Relic. I'm really excited to watch all the content that comes out, and if I do end up playing a bit, I will make a video or 2. Let me know down below what route you think I should take if I do end up playing. Seems pretty wide open though. Okay, so the main update, of course, was focused on leagues, but right at the bottom here, we actually have a very nice change, and this is actually to Last Man Standing. So every day we ban thousands of bots in Old School, but we do understand that some slip through the net. The anti-cheating team remains committed to tackling bots. Unfortunately, due to the low entry requirement for Last Man Standing, new bots continually return to cheat after other accounts have been banned. And to help resolve this and to improve the player experience, they're going to be added in additional requirements to competitive and high stakes modes. So to compete in those modes, you are now going to require a skill total level of 750 and at least 30 quest points to participate. So although having higher requirements does restrict the content to some degree, it was a pretty big issue, and I'm pretty happy that they've added some requirements to it. Finally, here at the very bottom here, Monster Examine has now been re-enabled for next. So we're going to get probably some in-depth information on exactly what is best in slot to kill next with. I don't care though, I am holding my Zarite crossbow. Might not be a good idea though. So anyway guys, that is going to be it for this week's update. I hope you guys enjoyed it as always. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next week. Now before I go here, I want to give a huge thank you to all of my members over on YouTube. Thank you so much to Cesarium OSRS, The Hybrid, Alejandra, Sejuani's Flail, and Kush Patel for all being subscribed at the Dragon tier. Thank you guys so much, really appreciate it. Also a giant thank you to Ryan Shady, Mexos, Base Titch, NDM001, and YoYoSub89 for all subscribing at the Runite tier. Really means a lot. As always, if you are looking for another way to support the channel, becoming a YouTube member is a great way to support me directly. You will be immortalized in all of my future videos, get access to a custom role in my Discord server, and my video release schedule. Thanks again guys, and I will see you next time.